Imagine sitting beside me as our shuttle begins a slow, controlled flight through a wormhole, stretching from one edge of space to another. You feel the subtle vibration of the engines beneath you, a soft hum that reminds you the ship is steady and alive. Outside your window, the tunnel of swirling light curves and stretches, colors blending in ways that seem impossible, yet follow real physics. You notice streaks of matter and energy twisting around, bending gently as gravity and motion shape the path. Watch how the brightness shifts, from deep blues to pale whites, and feel the quiet awe inside the cabin as you take it all in. Everything you see is based on real scientific models, mapped and studied carefully, even if your senses struggle to grasp it fully. Before we go any deeper, remember that simple support, like a like or subscribe, helps this work continue. It may seem small, but it truly matters. Now, take a moment. Close your eyes, prepare for sleep, and let yourself feel everything around you. Let the journey continue inside your mind as you drift through the wormhole, carried along by the endless unfolding flow of space and light. You feel the gentle vibration beneath your feet as you strap yourself into the shuttle. The engines hum quietly, a steady low tone that seems to resonate through your body. Look around you, panels of polished metal, instruments with blinking lights, screens showing data streams, and the vast window ahead. Outside, space stretches endlessly. Stars scatter across blackness, not twinkling like on Earth, but steady, sharp points of light. You notice how close some galaxies appear, though in reality, they are millions of light years away. The shuttle is still in orbit, circling your home planet one last time before you depart on this journey toward a wormhole. Reach out and touch the controls. They are firm under your fingers, cold metal, responsive to every slight movement. You feel the gentle push of acceleration as the shuttle fires its thrusters. Your body presses slightly into the seat. Look forward. Earth is shrinking slowly behind you. The oceans are a deep blue, the clouds a delicate white swirl. The continents seem small from this distance, yet you can trace their edges if you focus. There is a quiet calm here. The noise of engines is soft, not overwhelming. You are moving, but the motion feels fluid, smooth, almost like gliding through a pool of water, only far colder and infinitely vast. Your eyes adjust to the darkness beyond the window. You can see faint stars now, more than you ever could on Earth. Some are red, some blue, others white. Each point of light represents a distant sun, many with their own planets. You follow the lines of constellations, but they appear shifted, unfamiliar from this vantage. The sense of scale presses on you, not physically, but mentally. You understand how vast this space is. You feel a light tug at your chest as the shuttle accelerates, a reminder that you are moving faster than anything you have ever experienced on Earth. Your ears catch the subtle shift in the hum, a slight change in pitch as velocity increases. Look outside again. You see the darkness between stars is not empty. There is faint light from distant nebulae, clouds of gas and dust glowing in soft colors. Some regions appear as faint red smudges. Others have a pale blue glow. You follow these patterns with your eyes, noticing their shapes, wisps curling in a slow, almost liquid motion. You reach for the tactile sense of your instruments. The displays show your velocity, altitude, and trajectory. Numbers shift steadily. You can feel the precision of every calculation, every adjustment of the shuttle. You are part of this movement, a small but aware presence in a vast machine and vaster universe. As the shuttle leaves orbit, you feel the pull of Earth fading. The planet grows smaller, a blue marble suspended in the black. You sense the subtle change in gravity around you, the lightness in your limbs, the way your chest and shoulders release tension. The engines maintain a quiet, steady push, just enough to guide you toward the coordinates where the wormhole is expected. You have studied this region for years, plotted the trajectory, calculated distances, but seeing it in motion is different. You are moving in real time, through real space. You feel the absence of air, the emptiness, and the way your mind wants to fill the black void with shapes, only to realize that the universe itself is already full. You notice a faint shimmer ahead, subtle at first, almost like a reflection on water, though there is no water here. This is the first sign of the wormhole's mouth. You focus your vision and see space bending slightly around that point. Stars nearest the wormhole appear stretched, their light curving around an invisible edge. You feel the pull, subtle and strange, not strong enough to harm you, but noticeable. It is the effect of space-time bending, gravity pulling light along curves you can almost trace with your eyes. Your mind tries to understand this, and you realize you are witnessing something predicted by equations made real in front of you. Look closer. The wormhole's edge seems to shimmer, a ring of distorted light, the background stars bending around it like liquid metal. You follow the line of a distant star as it stretches and splits near the mouth. It duplicates, forming a faint mirror image on the opposite side. You sense a gentle tug in your chest again, tiny shifts in pressure, almost as if gravity itself is whispering. Your body leans slightly without thinking, and you notice your hands resting lightly on the instruments, aware that they provide stability even as the environment seems to shift. You are at the threshold of something extraordinary, yet your senses remain grounded, aware of your position, your shuttle, and your own movement. Reach forward to adjust your viewport, and you see the color of light change near the wormhole. Blues become slightly deeper, reds warmer. Light bends, filters, and refracts. You feel a sense of depth, unlike anything seen in a normal star field. The tunnel ahead is not visible yet. The mouth is a faint circular distortion, but you can sense the path it leads to. Your instruments pick up minute gravitational variations, readings of tidal forces far below any danger threshold, but enough to remind you that physics is at work here in ways you have never physically felt before. You realize that while equations predicted these forces, experiencing them, even subtly, is different. You notice the motion of distant stars. As you adjust your trajectory, they seem to drift oddly, not with the shuttle's movement alone, but with the bending of light around the wormhole. You can almost see the grid of space-time, how it curves, how it can be traversed. There is no noise here beyond the shuttle, no air to carry sound, yet you feel a faint vibration from instruments responding to gravitational shifts. It is subtle, a hum through your seat and the floor. You place your hand there and feel the energy transfer gently, proof that you are moving through a medium far beyond everyday understanding, yet entirely consistent with general relativity. Take a slow breath, even though the air is recycled, filtered, and pressurized. You feel the cabin around you as a stable shell, a protective layer while you look beyond to unprotected space. Your eyes follow the warped light patterns, observing how galaxies behind the wormhole mouth appear stretched, duplicated, and bent. You recognize this as gravitational lensing, a known phenomenon where massive objects bend light around them. Here, the effect is extreme but not dangerous. You feel the thrill of seeing physics so alive, your senses registering both beauty and comprehension at once. As you adjust the shuttle's orientation, you notice the first signs of faint radiation. Sensors indicate slight increases in energy near the wormhole, consistent with predictions of matter-energy effects in curved spacetime. You do not feel anything harmful. Instead, your body senses only the regular hum, the gentle pull, the subtle shift of visual perspectives. You track these measurements on your display, seeing numbers change in real time. Every reading reassures you, confirms your predictions, yet the experience feels alive, more immediate than any diagram or formula could provide. You are both observer and participant. Look forward again. The wormhole mouth grows larger in your viewport, though in reality it is still far. You can see the distortion field more clearly, light bending more, the stars forming arcs around the center. Your mind catches the faint rotation of these arcs as the shuttle adjusts trajectory, and you realize you are about to enter a domain where motion, space, and time will behave differently. The thought is calm, not frightening. You feel grounded in your body, seated in the shuttle, aware of every tactile and visual cue. Your senses are alive with anticipation, and your mind is ready to record every subtle shift. You notice a faint, blue glow along the outer edge of the wormhole's mouth. It is not color as on Earth, but light bending, filtered, shaped by the curvature of space. You follow the pattern, seeing how light stretches along invisible curves. Your hands remain steady on the controls, adjusting speed, orientation, angle, while your eyes track these distortions. The instruments confirm your perception. Gravitational fields consistent with theoretical models, subtle tidal forces, light trajectories, bending precisely as predicted. You feel a deep satisfaction, a quiet awe, at witnessing physics made tangible. Your body feels the final gentle tug of Earth's gravity fading. You notice the stars behind you shifting slightly, new patterns emerging as the shuttle speeds toward the wormhole. The vastness is now in motion. You realize that soon you will cross into the wormhole's threshold. You feel calm, fully aware of the cabin, the instruments, and your own sensations. Your vision tracks every detail, distant nebulae, star clusters, the faint duplication of light. You are moving through space, not floating randomly, but guided by precision. Each second brings you closer to the bending, twisting, shimmering gateway. You sense the quiet intensity of the approaching mouth. It is not dark, not bright, but a subtle, shifting presence in space. You notice the gravitational lensing more strongly now. Light curves around the edges. The stars appear smeared, duplicated, forming arcs you could almost touch with your eyes. Your hands feel the control smooth, responsive, ready for any adjustments. Your chest feels the faint tug of space-time stretching. Your ears hear only the shuttle's hum, steady, a background rhythm against the vast silence outside. You are aware of the scale, the science, and the uniqueness of this moment. Look one last time at the familiar stars behind you. Their patterns begin to shift subtly, stretched by the curvature ahead. You feel the gentle pull of acceleration as the shuttle nudges toward the wormhole. Every sense is alert. Your eyes notice the changing light. Your fingers feel the controls. Your body feels the mild pressure shifts. Your mind records the scientific reality. You are approaching the threshold, entering a region where space and time will behave in ways you have studied but never experienced. The calmness of preparation and awareness surrounds you, anchoring every sense to the shuttle, to yourself, and to the physics unfolding before your eyes. You lean slightly forward in your seat, your eyes fixed on the growing shimmer ahead. The wormhole's mouth dominates your view now, a circle of space that seems alive, not with motion, but with the bending of everything around it. Look closely, and you see stars not as points, but as thin arcs curving gently along invisible lines. Your mind follows the arcs, tracing the shape of space-time itself. The farther stars stretch, the more you can sense the subtle pull of gravity acting on light, bending its path in ways you can almost feel through your body. Your hands rest lightly on the console, feeling the firm pressure beneath your fingers, grounding you even as the universe seems to twist before your eyes. Watch how the edges of the wormhole mouth glow faintly. It is not a color you know from Earth, but light filtered and stretched through curved space. You notice that stars near the edge appear duplicated, faint echoes of themselves shimmering slightly off to the side. Each copy seems to occupy a parallel path through space, shifted by the bending gravity. You feel a subtle tug in your chest as you adjust course, tiny shifts in the shuttle's orientation responding to gravitational forces. It is not strong enough to pull you, but it is there, a quiet reminder that physics is active around you in ways you can both see and feel. Your eyes follow a bright blue star as it curves near the edge of the wormhole. Its light bends like a ribbon, drawn around the invisible mass of the wormhole itself. You notice faint stretching along its path, a smooth elongation that seems to flow as the shuttle moves. You can feel your body responding unconsciously to the motion of your eyes tracking this stretch. Your stomach shifts slightly, a natural response to moving through space where gravity is no longer uniform. You are aware of your own weight, lighter than on Earth, yet your body senses the direction of pull toward the mouth. You reach for the controls briefly, adjusting thrusters to maintain a smooth approach, feeling the metal buttons under your fingers and the precision of each adjustment. Look at the stars beyond the wormhole. They do not flicker, but bend, stretch, and multiply. You notice that some light comes at angles that seem impossible at first. Your instruments confirm your perception. Space-time is curved here. Light is following paths dictated by gravity, not straight lines. You sense this subtly in the shuttle, a faint pressure on your back and shoulders as the craft responds to gravitational tides. These tides are minimal, far below any danger, but they are real. You feel them in your body, even as your eyes trace the distortions, and you understand this is what scientists call the curvature of space. It is the warping of space-time around a massive object, something predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity, now visible and tangible in your own perception. You notice time behaving differently, though you cannot measure it yet without instruments. Look at the display in front of you. Your clock continues to tick normally, but readings from distant star signals show minuscule delays. You feel a subtle shift in perception, not disorienting, just a gentle awareness that time is bending along with space. Every second you observe, you are seeing physics unfold in its raw form. Your heart beats steadily. Your body senses the quiet change in pressure, the almost imperceptible tug in the shuttle as it follows its trajectory. You reach up to adjust a screen, the touch of your fingers confirming that human precision is necessary even in the midst of cosmic distortion. Notice the faint arcs of light stretching around the mouth. You see them move slowly as the shuttle approaches, twisting in a pattern that seems to ripple outward. You sense a shift in your body again, tiny pulses through the floor of the cabin as gravitational gradients subtly influence the shuttle. You are moving through space that is no longer flat, no longer uniform. Look at the faint doubling of stars on the far side of the wormhole. Their images shimmer and slide slowly, separated by the invisible field of curvature. You can almost predict the path of each arc, the way gravity bends the universe around this point. Your eyes follow the pattern, your mind tracing lines of force, yet your senses remain calm, alert, and fully immersed. Reach out mentally to the idea that space is not empty here. You are seeing the warp of space-time directly. Light bends, distances stretch and shrink depending on position. You can sense the path of your own motion relative to this warp. The shuttle's thrusters maintain gentle adjustments, responding to minimal tidal pulls. You notice how small corrections keep the craft steady, and you feel the satisfaction of control paired with the awe of observation. Look at the faint red and white arcs forming at the edges of the mouth. They flow smoothly, bending in patterns predicted by theory. Your eyes and instruments are aligned. You see what science has anticipated, yet it is alive and dynamic in real time. Take a slow breath, noticing the calm of the cabin against the extraordinary sight outside. You see the arcs of light stretching across the field of view, duplicating faint stars in patterns that shimmer softly. Your body feels the light press of gravity, not enough to harm, just enough to be sensed. You trace a curved line of light as it loops around the mouth, almost like following a river's path. Your mind notes that this is gravitational lensing, where massive objects bend light, creating arcs, rings, and multiple images. You feel grounded even as your senses expand, watching a phenomenon usually confined to telescopes unfold before your own eyes. Focus on the subtle shift in light near the wormhole. Stars near the center seem to drift more slowly than those farther away. You feel a gentle change in your perception of motion, a small tug as the shuttle passes through a region of warped space. Your hands remain lightly on the controls, making minute adjustments, feeling the feedback of the metal beneath your fingers. Each shift, each micro-correction, is evidence of the complex forces at work. You are moving through a region where the normal rules of straight-line motion no longer apply, where curvature directs your path, and your senses register it softly, gently, continuously. Look at the dark center of the wormhole mouth. It is not empty, but an absence, a thinning of light from background stars. Your instruments show no material, just a gravitational bridge connecting distant points. You sense the faint pull as you move closer. You are aware of the concept that a wormhole connects regions of space-time, a theoretical shortcut, now made perceptible through observation. Your eyes trace the way background stars bend around the edges. You feel a quiet hum in your body, the subtle gravitational gradient brushing against your chest, your arms, your legs. It is a delicate sensation, grounding you in reality while your mind traces the extraordinary path ahead. Notice the duplications of distant galaxies along the edge. They are not solid, not tangible, but light-following bent paths. You can see multiple faint images of the same galaxy, slightly shifted in position. Your mind maps the effect, curvature, lensing, and the redirection of light. You feel the faint pull as the shuttle continues forward, a gentle rhythm of movement through warped space. Your eyes move slowly, deliberately, taking in every detail. Your body senses acceleration, the subtle press against your back, the shifting weight in your seat. You are present in both body and mind, a participant in the physical and the visual phenomena surrounding the wormhole. Take in the full scene now, the arcs of light, the duplicated stars, the stretched galaxies. You notice subtle changes in brightness, the bending of background nebulae into faint ribbons. You feel the gentle tug as gravity curves your path, not violently, but softly, constantly, as the shuttle approaches. Your hands are ready on the instruments, guiding small corrections. Your chest senses the rhythm of subtle forces. Your eyes follow the bending lines. Your mind interprets the curves. Your body feels the gradients. You are immersed in the first observations of the wormhole, fully aware, fully present, fully engaged with the scientific reality of this extraordinary phenomenon. You feel the shuttle begin a gentle tug forward as you near the edge of the wormhole. It is not a sudden jerk, but a smooth, persistent pull, as if space itself is reaching toward you. Look ahead and see the mouth widening, the circular edge becoming more distinct, brighter with the light of distant stars bending along its rim. You notice the arcs of light twisting slightly, following invisible curves that guide your path. Your body senses a subtle change. Weight shifts, not like falling, but a floating pull toward the center. Your hands rest lightly on the control, steadying yourself, while your eyes track the bending light. You are about to cross the threshold into a place where motion, space, and time will behave differently. As you pass the edge, you notice a stretch in the starfield outside. Points of light elongate into thin streaks, twisting as if drawn by invisible hands. Your chest feels a gentle pull along the shuttle's forward axis. You are moving into the wormhole's throat, the narrow tunnel that connects distant regions of space. The visual distortion is stunning. Stars spiral around the periphery, some becoming arcs of color, blue stretching into violet, red into soft amber. The display shows subtle shifts in wavelengths, indicating how the light bends and stretches. You feel a faint shiver of anticipation. Your mind recognizes that these patterns are exactly what theory predicts, yet seeing them with your own eyes is entirely different. Reach forward and touch the panel to confirm instruments are stable. You feel the familiar press of buttons and the subtle resistance of the controls beneath your fingers. Outside, the stretching stars continue to twist, now forming arcs that wrap partially around the shuttle. Look carefully, and you see multiple images of some stars, each slightly offset. Light curves along space-time paths, creating layers of images that overlap faintly. You sense that time is not flowing as it does outside, though your own clock ticks steadily. The instruments show tiny discrepancies in the timing of signals from distant pulses. You feel calm but aware. Your body notices the shift in weight, the subtle floating sensation, as the shuttle responds to the warped space-time. Notice the spiral effect intensifying. Lines of stars twist around your field of view, forming loops that seem to fold over themselves. You feel the shuttle responding, tiny adjustments from the guidance system keeping you steady. The acceleration is not violent, but it is constant. Your chest presses lightly against the seat harness. Your back follows the curve of the seat. Your fingers rest on the control panel, feeling the vibrations of the shuttle as it moves through a region where gravity is uneven. You realize that you are moving through a region where the normal rules of motion are altered by space-time curvature. Each moment is a live demonstration of physics in action. Your eyes notice color shifts as light stretches. Blue stars bleed slightly toward violet, red stars toward orange. Some stars seem to split into faint arcs, secondary images forming as light travels along the curved path. You feel a subtle sense of spinning, though the shuttle is not rotating. It is the perception created by the spiraling light around you. Reach out mentally to the geometry of the wormhole. You are traveling through the throat, a connecting tunnel of space. The walls are invisible, defined only by the way light bends. You sense the tunnel narrowing and widening in places, guiding your motion. Your body responds to these variations with gentle shifts, subtle floating and pressing, a constant awareness of acceleration and space around you. Focus on the way the starfield folds. You see points of light bend back upon themselves, forming loops and swirls. Your instruments show minimal tidal forces, measurable but far below danger levels. You feel them nonetheless. Subtle pressure along the body, a gentle push and pull across your limbs. You track the motion with your hands on the controls, adjusting speed slightly to maintain the ideal path. Your eyes follow the spiraling patterns, mapping the visual distortion, while your mind translates them into understanding. You are inside the wormhole, moving through a region where the normal distances of space are shortened by curvature, and time is measured differently compared to outside observers. Notice the central darkness ahead. It is not black like empty space, but a thin absence where background stars fade, replaced by warped light. You sense that this is the throat's core, the area connecting one side of the wormhole to the other. Look around the periphery. Light bends in arcs, duplicated faintly, shifting with every subtle motion of the shuttle. Your body feels variations in weightlessness as gravitational gradients influence the craft. Lean back slightly and feel the seat support your spine. You are moving through the tunnel without touching any walls, yet your body senses the invisible geometry. Each curve, each tug, is a direct interaction with the structure of space-time. The spiral of light becomes more intricate. You notice faint colors blending at the edges, arcs stretching into thin ribbons. Your perception of motion changes. Forward movement feels both fast and slow, depending on where you focus. Stars that were distant now appear closer, elongated along the tunnel. You feel the shuttle respond as it follows the path defined by space-time. Tiny vibrations move through your hands and feet, a subtle feedback of gravitational tides. Your mind tracks the changes, noting the smooth acceleration and weight shifts. You realize that the experience is both visual and physical, a direct engagement with the laws of the universe. You observe faint secondary images appearing off to the sides, as light from stars takes multiple paths around the wormhole's mass. You feel the shuttle shift slightly in response, though you do not move it. The pressure in your chest, the lightness in your legs, is a constant reminder that this is no ordinary space. Look at the faint colors at the edges of the spirals, soft blues, pale reds, and subtle whites. You sense that light is traveling along curved trajectories, reaching your eyes from paths it would never take in normal space. Your instruments record these variations, confirming what your eyes see. You feel grounded yet immersed, a witness and participant at once. Reach your hands to adjust the viewport. The stars continue to stretch and curve, moving as the shuttle progresses. You notice that time outside the wormhole, according to your instruments, is flowing slightly differently than your own clock. The difference is subtle but measurable. You feel the sensation of entering a new region of physics, a place where space and time interact uniquely. Your body senses acceleration, minor shifts, floating and pressing, but you remain calm, fully aware. Look at the tunnel ahead. The walls are invisible, yet you can trace them by the way light bends and duplicates. The motion is smooth, controlled, and mesmerizing. Notice the way spiraling star fields seem to fold around themselves. Each point of light is doubled or tripled, faint images overlapping. You feel a gentle tug as the shuttle moves through the throat. Look at the ribbons of stretched light. They flow around the center, twisting slowly. You sense that you are traveling along a path dictated not by ordinary motion, but by the curvature of space-time. Your body responds to these subtle forces, adjusting posture slightly, feeling the seat press against your back. Your hands hover over the controls, ready to make fine adjustments. Your eyes and mind follow the twisting, spiraling light, translating what you see into understanding. Take a deep breath and observe the tunnel fully. The starfields curve and spiral, colors shifting along elongated paths. You sense the passage of the shuttle as you move forward. Slight changes in weight and acceleration. Time behaves differently here. Signals from outside would be delayed slightly if measured. You feel connected to both the shuttle and the warped space around you. Every sense is engaged. Sight in the spiraling arcs, touch in the seat and controls, proprioception in the floating and shifting weight. You are inside the wormhole, moving through the throat, fully immersed in the physical and visual reality of this extraordinary passage. You feel the shuttle glide smoothly through the wormhole throat. The light outside is no longer the normal pattern of stars. Instead, it stretches and curves, forming a tunnel of twisting ribbons. You notice that some stars appear multiple times, faint copies layered slightly to the side. Each image follows a different path along the warped space. You reach out with your eyes, following them as they loop and bend. The patterns feel alive, moving around you as the shuttle advances. Your body senses tiny changes in weight, slight pulls as the gravitational curvature shifts with each motion. You are inside the tunnel, moving through space that is stretched and folded, yet calm and navigable. Look around carefully. The wormhole throat seems nearly cylindrical, but not perfectly so. The walls are invisible, but the bending light forms a faint contour you can trace. Stars behind you appear in different places than expected, duplicated and shifted. Some seem farther, others closer, though you know the shuttle's distance from them has barely changed. Your mind registers that space-time itself is stretched here. Every direction you look has new depths and curves. Your eyes follow a blue star, noticing how its duplicated images drift slowly along arcs. You feel the subtle tug as the shuttle responds to uneven gravity, adjusting gently to maintain course. Your fingers rest on the controls, guiding small corrections, feeling the smooth metal beneath them. Notice the tunnel's length as it stretches ahead. Light curves from distant stars form faint spirals, some overlapping, creating subtle bands of color. Reds and blues blend in thin ribbons, shifting as you move. You sense a mild pressure in your chest, not forceful, but perceptible as space-time curves along the shuttle's path. Reach forward to touch the control panel and confirm everything is steady. You feel the vibrations of the shuttle in response to tiny gravitational gradients. The hum of the engines is faint, steady, almost lost against the vast silence of warped space. Every sound you hear is mechanical. The universe outside is quiet, beyond reach of your ears, but visible, tangible through sight. Your eyes notice the repeated images of the same stars. One bright star appears 3 times along arcs that curve around the throat. You can track each version, noticing slight color shifts, subtle changes in intensity. It is a direct result of gravitational lensing. Light from a single source follows multiple paths through curved space before reaching your eyes. You feel the faint pull of gravity subtly shaping the shuttle's motion, the floor under your feet pressing lightly in shifting ways. You are moving along a path dictated not by empty space, but by the shape of space-time itself. Each step forward is guided by curves that are invisible, yet clear in their effects. Look closely at the way light twists along the tunnel. You notice that some arcs fold back on themselves, creating shapes like loops or gentle spirals. Your body senses tiny shifts as the shuttle moves along the bends. Lean into the seat and feel the harness hold you. keeping you grounded even as your perception of direction changes. Forward seems sometimes farther, sometimes closer, depending on which stars you track. You feel the subtle stretch of motion, the way space itself stretches ahead and contracts behind. The instruments show that your velocity is steady, yet your visual perception shifts constantly. You are aware that you are traveling in a region of space-time shaped by forces far stronger than anything on Earth. Reach out with your vision toward the edges of the throat. Light bends dramatically near the periphery, stretching stars into arcs that look almost like thin threads. You notice faint colors blending together, edges of stars overlapping. Your mind notes that this is consistent with exotic matter requirements theorized to stabilize wormholes. Though you cannot see matter directly, the visual effects reveal how gravity interacts with light. You feel a sense of calm observation, understanding the science while experiencing it firsthand. Your chest and legs feel light, shifting subtly as the shuttle follows the warped path. Every motion is gentle, every sensation controlled, yet the environment is extraordinary. Observe the three-dimensional effect of space around you. Stars that were directly ahead seem to wrap around the tunnel, appearing on your left, then right, then behind. You move forward, yet the pattern flows around you as if space is folding. You feel a gentle rotational tug, not from the shuttle's engines, but from the way space-time curves. Your eyes follow arcs that loop in complex ways, tracing multiple images of the same galaxy. You notice faint echoes of light stretching along paths your mind can track. You reach out with your mind, imagining the invisible geometry. Your body senses small changes, a gentle pressure along your back and shoulders, and your hands respond by keeping the shuttle steady. Focus on the shifting light. The arcs of stars near the throat edges appear to pulse slightly, stretching and contracting as you move. You sense a soft pull along your forward axis, a tug that reminds you of the energy required to maintain a wormhole. Instruments measure tidal effects, minor variations in gravitational pull across the shuttle. You feel these as almost imperceptible shifts in weight. Your chest rises and falls calmly, matching your awareness. The hum of the engines underlines the silence outside. There is no sound from the universe here, but your senses translate the distortions into perception. Motion, pull, and curvature. Look along the length of the tunnel. Stars appear layered in multiple images, overlapping faintly. You follow a small cluster, noting the duplicated arcs and subtle color variations. The light curves in a pattern that seems almost alive, flowing along the path of the throat. You feel the shuttle respond, moving along this invisible guide. Your body senses slight variations in weight, a rhythm of floating and gentle pressing that matches the curves ahead. Every glance reveals more detail. You track arcs, loops, and faint reflections of the same points of light. Each adjustment of the shuttle is deliberate, minor, necessary to stay aligned with the throat. Notice the faint shifts in brightness. Some stars seem to brighten and fade slightly as their images split and merge. You feel a pull along your arms and legs, subtle, responding to tiny gravitational gradients. Look toward the central axis of the wormhole. The dark corridor is not empty, but a focus point around which light curves. You follow spirals and arcs as they wind gently around the center. You feel your body adjusting automatically to the sensation of floating and mild acceleration. The shuttle remains steady, your hands guiding, your eyes recording, your mind aware of the extraordinary physics surrounding you. Take in the visual depth. Stars are layered, arcs bending in 3 dimensions, overlapping in a subtle, complex pattern. Your body senses gentle pulls along different axes as the shuttle advances. You feel a mild rotation in perception as light bends differently in every direction. Reach forward to adjust a display. The tactile press of the buttons under your fingers contrasts with the intangible curves outside. You sense the bridge between the familiar and the extraordinary. The tunnel ahead stretches indefinitely, yet your path is guided, smooth, continuous, and predictable, a path defined by space-time itself. Notice subtle differences in star positions as you move. Light that was directly ahead now appears slightly to the side. You follow multiple images of the same object, mapping each path mentally. The shuttle responds with tiny nudges, controlled by automated systems and fine adjustments from you. You feel the gentle pressure of acceleration, the subtle floating sensation, as the gravitational gradient varies across the cabin. The hum of the shuttle remains calm, steady, reassuring. Outside, the visual spectacle continues, arcs of light forming ribbons and loops, illustrating physics that you have studied but never experienced in this immersive way. Look at the faint colors along the edges of the tunnel. Ribbons of blue and red, orange and violet, stretch and fold as you move forward. Your eyes track them slowly, following curves, spirals, and overlaps. You sense slight pressure variations under your hands and feet, subtle but present. Your mind interprets the effects, curvature of space-time, gravitational lensing, and energy stabilization likely caused by exotic matter. You feel a quiet awe, not of danger, but of comprehension. Your body remains calm, seated firmly, fully aware of the forces, motions, and patterns around you. Take a moment to observe the three-dimensional layering of stars. Arcs curve, loops fold, images multiply in the periphery. You sense how distances feel different from the perspective of the shuttle. Forward seems both nearer and farther, depending on which light you track. Your body responds gently to the subtle gravitational variations. You feel the seat pressing lightly against your back, your hands on controls, instruments confirming every observation. The tunnel guides you, the light patterns shift as you move, and your senses record the full complexity of this journey through the wormhole throat. You feel the shuttle continue forward, deeper into the wormhole throat. The visual field outside shifts dramatically. Stars ahead stretch into long streaks, compressed in some directions, elongated in others. You notice the patterns twisting slowly, spiraling in arcs that loop around the central axis. Your eyes follow these streams of light, tracing each line as it bends and folds. You sense a faint pull in your chest and legs, subtle but perceptible, as gravitational gradients act unevenly across the shuttle. Each stretch and compression of the stars is not just light, but the fabric of space itself revealing its shape, a dynamic geometry made visible for you to observe and feel. Look carefully at the edges of the streaks. Some stars split into multiple faint images, duplicated across arcs of light. The layers appear to shift as you move, sometimes overlapping, sometimes drifting apart. You notice subtle color changes along the streaks. Blue becomes violet, red shifts toward amber, light, stretching and compressing along paths dictated by extreme space-time curvature. Your body senses a gentle tug along the forward axis, a weightlessness that is never fully uniform. Lean back slightly and feel how the seat harness holds you steady, while your limbs respond to small variations in pressure. This is the tactile reality of gravitational tides, forces that differ slightly from one side of the shuttle to the other. Reach out with your attention to the timing of everything. Your own clock ticks steadily, yet signals from distant stars relayed through instruments, show slight delays. Time behaves differently here. Your perception is steady, but the instruments confirm that an outside observer would measure your motion differently. Seconds inside the shuttle correspond to more or less time outside the wormhole, a direct result of relativistic time dilation. You feel calm, but keenly aware of this difference, a subtle sense that time itself is bending along with space. Every reading reinforces the extraordinary nature of your surroundings, yet your body remains stable and grounded in the cabin. Notice the compression of the star field as you move. Stars ahead seem to blur into thin lines, their images elongated along the path of travel. Others to the sides stretch into faint arcs, looping around invisible curves. You can trace individual paths of light, seeing how they bend along the warped space-time of the wormhole. Your fingers rest lightly on the control panels, making minor adjustments to keep your trajectory smooth. You feel the gentle push of tidal forces on your arms and legs, a subtle pressure as the shuttle reacts to the uneven gravity. Lean into your seat and notice how your chest feels slightly pressed forward, though not uncomfortably. These are the small, continuous effects of extreme gravity in action. Look at the central axis of the tunnel. Light converges toward it in spirals and ribbons, creating a sense of depth unlike anything seen in normal space. You follow the twisting arcs with your eyes, noting duplications and faint reflections. You feel the shuttle respond with imperceptible shifts. Your body senses the distribution of forces, a mild tug toward one side, a light stretch along the forward axis. This is the phenomenon known as tidal forces, the same effect that, in extreme cases near black holes, could stretch objects into elongated forms. Here the forces are subtle but measurable. Your mind connects what you feel with the theoretical predictions of spaghettification, understanding how gradients of gravity operate without fear, fully aware of the safe margins around you. Reach forward to check the instrument panels. Displays show time dilation readings, slight differences between the shuttle clock and reference signals from outside the wormhole. Spectra of light from stars indicate shifts, small changes in wavelengths caused by movement through the curved space. You notice how the blue streaks stretch, slightly toward violet, how the reds and oranges deepen in subtle ways. Your body senses the gradual change, a gentle pressure in your back and legs, a constant reminder that space is not uniform here. The shuttle responds, maintaining a smooth path along the curvature, while your mind traces the patterns of light and time unfolding before you. Look toward the spiraling star streams again. Their movement feels almost alive, bending and twisting with your motion. You see faint echoes of stars appearing in multiple places, displaced slightly along curves. These multiple images are a direct result of gravitational lensing, combined now with the distortion caused by the high relative velocity of your travel. You feel a pull, soft and continuous, as the shuttle moves through gradients of gravity. Lean back in your seat slightly and sense the subtle floating sensation. Your body adjusts naturally, small shifts in posture, your hands remaining lightly on the controls to steady yourself and monitor the instruments. Notice how distances appear to change. Some stars ahead seem closer, others farther away, even though your instruments confirm steady forward motion. You are seeing space-time curvature in real time, experiencing the variation in apparent distances and directions caused by the wormhole. The ribbons of light flow and twist as the shuttle progresses, elongating ahead, compressed behind, creating a dynamic visual tunnel. You feel a mild weight shift in your chest and arms, subtle enough to be calming rather than alarming. The tactile sensation of gravity gradients is continuous, almost imperceptible if you focus on remaining still, but undeniable if you observe closely. Focus on the elongated star streaks. They twist in 3 dimensions, curving around the tunnel's axis. You follow each one slowly, noticing faint duplications that create complex patterns of overlapping light. Your eyes move carefully along the arcs, noting subtle color changes, faint pulses, shifts in brightness. The shuttle responds smoothly, a perfect machine navigating the gradients of warped space-time. You feel the gentle tug of tidal forces, a distributed pressure along your body as gravitational forces vary from one side of the cabin to the other. The hum of the engines underlines the silence outside, a quiet constant against the vast, distorted starfield. Look at the faint spectra shifting along the edges of the arcs. Blue stretches toward violet, red toward amber. These changes are direct effects of motion through curved space. Your instruments confirm the readings, showing tiny frequency shifts consistent with predictions from general relativity. You feel calm, grounded and aware, understanding that this is not a hallucination or effect of speed, but real physics. Your body senses subtle acceleration, minor shifts in weight, the faint tugging along the shuttle's axis. You notice how your hands can maintain steady control, guiding the shuttle with slight, precise movements while observing the extraordinary phenomena outside. Reach toward the forward viewport. Stars stretch and compress ahead, some looping back in faint arcs. You feel a soft rotational sensation, not from the shuttle spinning, but from your perception as space curves around you. The tunnel ahead seems alive with motion, yet smooth, continuous, and predictable along the trajectory. You sense that time is different here. The instruments show that 1 second inside the wormhole corresponds to slightly more or less time outside. You feel no disorientation, only awareness, as your body adjusts naturally to the shifts in gravity and motion. The shuttle glides steadily, the hum of the engines reassuring, the vast starfield twisting in elegant patterns around you. Take a slow breath and observe the 3-dimensional structure. Light streams stretch in arcs, duplicated and twisted, forming a complex visual map. You feel the gentle pressure of tidal forces distributed across the shuttle. Stars that were once points now become ribbons, folding along paths defined by the wormhole's curvature. You notice slight changes in intensity and color as you move, stretching and compressing along the forward path. Your hands remain on the instruments, guiding subtle corrections, feeling the solid metal under your fingers as the shuttle responds perfectly to the invisible curves outside. Your mind traces the physics, your eyes record the patterns, your body senses the motion. Focus on the duplications of distant stars. Faint copies appear along arcs, some overlapping, some slightly shifted. You sense the subtle gravitational pulls across the shuttle's frame. Look at the streaking light ahead and to the sides, arcs forming loops, spirals, ribbons. Your body feels small variations in acceleration, gentle shifts in your chest, arms and legs. The shuttle remains steady, moving forward along the throat of the wormhole. Time dilation readings show differences compared to outside clocks, the instruments confirming what your eyes already perceive. You feel calm, fully aware, fully immersed in the visual, tactile, and scientific reality of moving through this extreme gravitational environment. You feel the shuttle begin a gentle forward shift as the tunnel of the wormhole stretches ahead. The spiraling ribbons of light start to straighten slowly, no longer looping or curving as violently. Your eyes track the changes, noticing stars that were previously duplicated and stretched now drawing closer to single points. You sense the gradual easing of gravitational gradients across your body. Lean back into your seat slightly and feel the harness release some pressure. Your chest and arms experiencing the subtle reduction in pull. The shuttle glides steadily forward, the engines quiet, almost humming with a smooth, gentle rhythm. You are approaching the other mouth, the exit point of the wormhole, and the visual field begins to signal the transition from curved to normal space. Look carefully at the stars ahead. Lines that were long streaks now shorten into points. Arcs fold back into the background. You can see familiar constellations forming again, though faint and distant. Light that had been stretched and duplicated slowly returns to its natural orientation. You sense the slight stabilizing of the shuttle, the floating and tugging sensations fading as the gravitational distortions lessen. Your hands rest lightly on the controls, making small adjustments, but the shuttle is largely moving smoothly along the final curve of the tunnel. Outside, the universe appears more familiar, though the experience has changed your perception of distance and motion. Notice how colors normalize. Blues return from violet, reds from amber, whites sharpen. Stars appear clearer, more defined, their multiple images merging into single points. You feel a small relaxation in your body as spatial distortions diminish. Your chest feels lighter, your legs less buoyant, though still in low gravity. Lean your head slightly and observe the straightening of arcs. The ripples of light that formed spirals fade into smooth, nearly straight lines. The visual experience is calming, and you feel a deep awareness of how extraordinary this journey has been. The tunnel is still present in a subtle sense, a memory of curvature, but the exit approaches. Look toward the central axis of the tunnel. The dark, elongated corridor of warped space gradually opens into normal cosmic space. You see the distant stars and galaxies as they naturally lie, no longer bent around the throat. Your instruments show a reduction in tidal forces, confirming that the extreme gradients of gravity have eased. You sense the subtle relaxation in your limbs as the shuttle moves through more uniform space. The transition is gentle, almost imperceptible if you do not pay attention, yet undeniable in the way your body registers the shift. You feel emerging into a region where the laws of physics return to the familiar, and your senses adapt naturally. Notice the scale of what you are seeing. The stars are the same ones you have observed from afar, but now the distances seem compressed in a new way. You recognize that the wormhole has connected two regions of space that would normally be separated by vast distances. The exit lies ahead, revealing a patch of sky that was light years apart from the entry point. You feel awe wash over you, not from fear, but from the realization of the cosmic scale condensed into this passage. Your body remains steady, but your mind registers the enormity of what you have just traversed. Reach forward and check the instruments. Time dilation readings are returning toward normal. Signals from distant stars now match expected timings, no longer delayed or compressed. Spectra of light return to familiar wavelengths, confirming the reduction of gravitational stretching. You feel the subtle difference in motion. Tidal forces, once perceptible in the tugging along your chest and legs, have nearly disappeared. The shuttle responds predictably, gliding forward as you approach the open space beyond the wormhole. Your hands lightly stabilize the controls, appreciating the smooth transition, while your eyes remain focused on the unfolding visual scene. Look closely at the stars on the periphery. Multiple images that were previously duplicated now merge into single points. The twisting spirals straighten into the natural layout of the universe. You notice galaxies and clusters appear in their expected positions, no longer distorted. Your body senses the easing of subtle rotational tugs, the gentle floating fading into a steadier, calmer sensation. You feel the shift physically, a grounding return to the physics you know. Lean slightly and trace the patterns of light one last time, appreciating the way the wormhole's throat has folded and bent space, then released you back into normal space-time. Notice the widening of the tunnel ahead. The throat opens to the exit, revealing a section of space that would have taken decades or centuries to reach using normal travel. The stars snap into their natural positions, gravitational lensing effects fading. You sense the shuttle moving from a compressed, warped corridor into uniform space. Lean back and feel your body adjust as the subtle accelerations disappear. The engines hum steadily, the cabin quiet except for the low mechanical sound. You are entering a region where distances return to normal, yet the memory of the tunnel's curvature lingers visually, a reminder of the extraordinary passage you have traversed. Take in the emotional impact. The universe outside looks familiar, yet you have just experienced a shortcut through space-time itself. You feel awe at the realization that cosmic distances can be condensed, connected in ways you had only imagined through theory. Stars and galaxies are now arranged in the normal celestial geometry, but you carry the memory of their bending, twisting, and spiraling as they guided your shuttle through the wormhole. Your chest feels lighter, your mind calm, and your body adjusts to the reduction of unusual gravitational forces. Notice how the stars that were once duplicated now stand alone. Lines that stretched into spirals have straightened, creating a normal field of view. You feel your body relax further, the subtle floating and tugs fading completely. The transition is gentle, yet profound. Your instruments confirm uniform gravity readings, light spectra aligned with expectations, and time readings returning to normal. You feel a deep understanding of the wormhole's function, a tunnel connecting distant regions of space-time, allowing travel across unimaginable distances while preserving your physical and sensory integrity. Look ahead at the vast cosmic expanse. You sense the continuity of motion through normal space, your shuttle steady and gliding smoothly. Stars that once curved and duplicated now appear naturally. You feel grounded, yet aware of the extraordinary journey just completed. The visual, tactile, and temporal effects of the wormhole have left a lasting impression. You sense the continuity of the universe, the connection between distant regions, and the precision of physical laws as they govern both warped and normal space. You remain fully immersed, observing the exit and appreciating the scale of what you have just traversed. Take a deep breath and let your senses absorb the scene. The stars ahead are bright, undistorted, stretching across the sky as they naturally appear. The tunnel of the wormhole behind you is no longer visible directly, only remembered in the subtle alignment of light and the instrument's readings. Your body feels calm, steady, supported by the seat, your hands resting on controls. You notice how time appears steady again, signals from distant stars matching expected timing. The visual field is now consistent with normal space, yet you carry the awareness of the extraordinary pathway you have traveled, a direct experience of the topology of space-time and the bridging of cosmic distances. Observe the way the tunnel's exit frames the sky. Stars and galaxies fill the viewport in patterns you recognize from distant observations. You feel the smoothness of motion, the absence of tidal tugging, the calm in your chest and limbs. Your instruments confirm the normal gravitational environment, confirming that you are now fully in standard space beyond the wormhole. Lean back slightly, feeling the calm, and watch as distant galaxies remain steady, no longer bending or duplicating. You sense the incredible scale that has just been condensed, the cosmic distance traversed in moments that would normally require decades or centuries. You feel awe, reverence, and wonder, fully present in the realization of the universe's hidden connections. Notice subtle residual distortions, faint traces of the tunnel's curvature as the last images of spiraling light fade from the periphery. Your mind registers the contrast between warped and normal space. You feel the cabin under your body, the control panels beneath your fingers, the steady hum of the shuttle, all grounding you physically. Outside, the stars are perfectly aligned, the constellations intact. Your eyes trace familiar shapes, yet you carry the memory of the extreme curvature and stretching you just experienced. You feel fully immersed, part of a universe larger and more connected than you had imagined. Take a slow breath and let your mind and body adjust completely. The exit of the wormhole lies ahead, the vast expanse of normal space open and unbroken. You feel the relief of stabilization, the grounding of physical forces returning fully. Your hands rest lightly on the controls, ready for minor course adjustments. The stars, galaxies, and distant clusters fill your view, undistorted and bright. You carry the knowledge of the extraordinary shortcut you have just traversed. The memory of stretching light, spirals, and duplicated stars remains vivid in your perception, a direct testament to the remarkable properties of space-time and the wormhole's function. You turn slowly in your seat, eyes tracing the region of space where the wormhole's exit still glimmers faintly. There is a subtle shimmer at the edges of your viewport, a trace of light bending that lingers like a memory of the tunnel. The arcs of stretched stars have faded, yet a faint ribbon of brightness follows the curvature of the throat behind you. You lean forward slightly and focus on the trail, noticing how residual distortions still ripple across the field of distant stars. It is subtle, almost imperceptible, but your instruments detect the last traces of gravitational warping, a delicate reminder of the extraordinary passage you have just completed. Your hands rest lightly on the controls, but you feel no need to adjust. The shuttle drifts steadily, guided by the inertia of smooth motion and the precise navigation of the corridor just left behind. Reach out with your eyes toward the galaxy now revealed in full, a section of space that would have taken centuries to reach without the wormhole. Stars cluster together. Faint nebulae glow softly in blues, reds, and pale whites, each point perfectly aligned in natural, predictable positions. You can see the structure of the stellar region, the spiraling arms of distant galaxies, the subtle glow of interstellar dust, and the faint curve of gravitational lensing around massive stars. The scales are immense, yet your perception feels intimate. You feel a gentle hum through your seat, the residual effects of gravitational gradients diminishing slowly as the wormhole's influence fades. Your body registers the small vibration, a tactile echo of the tunnel you have traversed. Notice the details of the galaxy ahead. Light curves along the edges of dense clusters, bending slightly as it passes massive stars and unseen dark matter. You watch faint arcs of multiple images forming along the periphery, a gentle reminder of gravitational lensing, though far less extreme than inside the wormhole. Your instruments record subtle variations in radiation and light curves, measuring the energy and paths of photons that have traveled through both normal space and the wormhole corridor. You feel a calm awareness as your senses align with the reality of the vast region before you. The scales are immense, yet the shuttle remains steady, your body attuned to the gentle vibrations and slight tugs that hint at the last remnants of distorted gravity. Look carefully at the stellar light. Some stars flicker gently, subtle shifts caused by the bending paths of light through curved space-time. You notice faint changes in intensity and color along the edges, blue light leaning toward violet, red to pale amber. The telescope and instrument displays quantify these changes, confirming the effects of the wormhole's passage through space-time. You feel the calmness of the observation, the slight vibration of the shuttle, a tactile connection to the immense cosmic processes taking place. Lean back and breathe slowly, allowing your senses to absorb the vastness and the tranquility of the moment. Focus on the broader view. The galaxy stretches across your vision, arms spiraling outward, clusters of stars forming intricate patterns. Faint nebulae glow softly, clouds of gas reflecting the distant light of millions of stars. You feel a quiet awe as you realize that this region of space, once far beyond reach, is now accessible within hours of travel. The tunnel you pass through, the throat of the wormhole, has connected two regions separated by unimaginable distances. Your body senses subtle residual forces, tiny shifts in the weight and pressure across the seat, a whisper of the gravitational corridor now behind you. The shuttle hums gently, the only sound in the otherwise silent cosmic void. Look toward the periphery. Faint arcs of residual lensing remain visible, minor duplications of distant stars. You trace them with your eyes, noticing the subtle distortions fade as you continue to move away from the wormhole's exit. Your hands rest lightly on the controls, feeling the metal beneath your fingers, the tactile reassurance of the shuttle supporting your observation. Each minor vibration is a physical echo of the massive forces once concentrated in the wormhole throat. You notice the galaxy's colors returning to normal, light wavelengths unstretched, paths following simple, straight trajectories through space. The beauty of the scene is amplified by the knowledge of the journey you have undertaken, witnessing firsthand the warping and straightening of space-time. Notice how the distant stars of the newly accessible region cluster in familiar arrangements. You see globular clusters, faint spiral arms, and wispy filaments of dust. The scale is staggering. Your body feels grounded, yet your mind expands as you appreciate the distance compressed by the wormhole. The instruments show radiation patterns, subtle energy gradients, and the fading lensing effects. You feel a profound connection to the mechanics of the universe, understanding that this passage has opened a doorway across time and space. Lean forward slightly and follow a faint stellar stream. Its curvature, now natural and undistorted, reflects the relief of space returning to uniformity beyond the wormhole. Focus on the energy readings from the instruments. Photons arriving from the distant galaxy show slight frequency shifts, a trace signature of their passage through warped space-time. You feel the shuttle's gentle vibration along your spine, subtle tidal effects still detectable but fading quickly. The stars ahead are brilliant in their clarity, light traveling along paths no longer twisted or duplicated. You notice slight differences between readings on the port and starboard sides, a final reminder of the wormhole's influence. Your hands hover above the instruments, steadying the shuttle, appreciating the delicate balance of forces as normal space resumes its dominance around you. Look back at the ghostly outline of the tunnel, now a subtle shimmer fading into the background. You feel a sense of completion as the distorted light vanishes, leaving the cosmic scene unaltered. The residual gravitational effects are minimal, a whisper compared to the earlier tugs. You observe the distant galaxy fully, noting its structure and light without distortion. The vast scale is almost unimaginable. You feel the quiet of space, the stillness between stars, and the incredible intimacy of having traveled through such an extraordinary shortcut. Your chest relaxes, limbs settle into the seat, and your mind absorbs the enormity of the journey. Notice the quiet symmetry of the galaxy. The spiral arms extend naturally. The star clusters are clear and faint nebulae glow softly. You sense the shuttle moving through uniform space, gentle and steady, as if the universe itself has welcomed your passage. The faint memory of stretching light, spiraling stars, and duplicated images lingers in your perception, a subtle reminder of the wormhole's presence. Instruments confirm radiation and light patterns returning to expected norms. You feel calm, your mind tracing the physics, your body in harmony with the gentle motion of the shuttle. Take a slow, deep breath and scan the scene again. The wormhole exit is behind you now, fading into subtle ripples of light and energy. Ahead, the galaxy opens fully, accessible in a way that would have been impossible without the tunnel. You sense the vast distances condensed, the connectivity of the universe revealed in a tangible, observable way. Your body feels the calming reduction of tidal forces, the hum of the shuttle steady beneath you, the faint vibration underfoot, the residual, gravitational echo, reminds you of the journey's magnitude without overpowering your senses. Focus on the interplay of light and space. Stars that were once twisted now shine clearly. The galaxy's structure appears in sharp contrast, the arms and clusters revealing their natural arrangement. You feel the magnitude of cosmic scales, the bridge between distant points in space made visible by the wormhole. Lean back and allow your senses to absorb the scene. Your mind processes the physics, your eyes track the stars, your body feels the subtle traces of movement through warped space-time. The combination of visual splendor, tactile feedback, and intellectual comprehension creates a profound sense of immersion. Notice the faint echoes of the wormhole in the background. Tiny distortions still linger in light paths at the edges of your viewport. You trace them carefully, observing how they diminish with every meter you move away. Your instruments record the last signatures of gravitational lensing, radiation curves, and energy gradients. You feel the shuttle glide smoothly, completely stable now, the hum steady, the vibrations almost imperceptible. The vast scale of space unfolds ahead, the newly reachable galaxy fully visible, and you are aware of the extraordinary shortcut you have just experienced. A sense of awe settles over you, quiet and profound, the cosmic distances suddenly tangible in a way you can see and feel. Take a final, slow breath. Look at the galaxy, the distant clusters of stars, and the nebulae glowing softly. You feel the stillness of space around you, a contrast to the tunnel you have left behind. The residual gravitational tugs have faded, leaving you grounded and calm. Instruments show normal readings, light traveling along standard paths, time ticking in sync with expected values. You sense the magnitude of the universe, the power of an Einstein-Rosen bridge to connect regions across unimaginable distances, and the clarity of direct observation in real time. Your mind and body are fully present, immersed in the vast cosmic reality opened to you by the wormhole. You guide the shuttle gently forward, moving into the newly accessible stellar region. The field of view opens wide, revealing clusters of stars in dense, intricate formations. Some stars shine in brilliant white, Others glow soft yellow, and faint reds and blues mark distant giants and dwarves. You notice clouds of gas and dust, nebulae glowing softly, their shapes delicate and intricate against the black backdrop of space. The visual contrast is extraordinary. Points of light embedded in colored clouds, shadows cast across gas by hidden stars, and areas of near darkness where gravity pulls matter into convex forms. Your eyes move slowly, tracing the clusters, following the streams of light between stars, absorbing the scale, and noticing how this region was invisible from your original location. Look closely at a bright cluster ahead. Your instruments measure the spectra of individual stars. Blue shifted light indicates those moving slightly toward you. Red shifted light for those moving away. You feel a slight sense of motion through the cabin, subtle vibrations in your chest and hands as the shuttle responds to the gravitational influence of the stars and massive objects nearby. Lean into your seat harness and sense the pull. Small, gentle, almost imperceptible, yet detectable as you glide past each massive body. The shuttle hums quietly, maintaining a steady course as you move between stars. The control panels warm under your fingertips, confirming the precise navigation through this complex environment. Notice the nebulae ahead. Their gas glows in soft pinks and blues, illuminated by stars within and around them. Dust lanes obscure some regions, creating shadows and depth. You can see faint wisps curling around denser pockets, forming patterns that reveal the turbulence and movement of gases under gravitational influence. Lean forward and let your eyes adjust to the subtle color shifts. Some areas appear cooler in tone, others warmer, a natural consequence of differing temperatures and densities. Instruments show the variation in emission lines, confirming the chemical compositions: hydrogen, helium, traces of oxygen and nitrogen. You feel grounded in the shuttle, your body responding to the very mild gravitational undulations as the craft glides smoothly through the field. Look to the side, where faint gravitational wells make themselves known. Small deviations in the shuttle's path correspond to nearby compact objects, perhaps black holes or dense neutron stars. Your eyes notice faint lensing effects. Distant stars appear slightly warped, arcs of light bending around these massive bodies. You feel a gentle tug in your chest as the shuttle adjusts slightly to the gravitational gradient. Reach out and rest your hands on the controls, feeling the subtle feedback in the metal and touch screens as they respond to tiny adjustments. The shuttle moves smoothly, yet your tactile senses register the interaction with the unseen forces shaping this stellar environment. Observe a dense cluster of stars in the distance. Some stars orbit unseen companions, and instruments detect the gravitational influence even when nothing visible blocks the light. You notice minor shifts in light curves, variations in brightness as orbiting bodies move in and out of view. Your chest registers a slight pressure with each subtle change in gravitational influence. Lean forward and feel the hum of the shuttle systems as they compensate. You are moving through space in a region that previously would have been unreachable, and every small detail is now directly observable, from the trajectories of stars to the patterns of gas flow in nebulae. Look closely at a nebula stretching across your viewport. Its gases emit light in various wavelengths. You see hydrogen glowing red, oxygen blue, faint traces of other elements creating subtle color shifts. The light varies slightly as you move, Doppler effects stretching or compressing the waves depending on your relative motion. You feel this as tiny shifts in vibration under your hands, your body noticing the shuttle's minor reactions to gravitational gradients. Watch how shadows form in the clouded regions, how the density of gas bends and blocks starlight, and how faint reflections from neighboring stars create highlights. Your eyes trace every filament, noting the delicate interplay of light and matter. Notice the more distant stars. Some appear doubled, faint duplicates caused by lensing from massive objects between you and the star. Lean back slightly and scan the field. The pattern is subtle yet present, a real signature of the unseen mass in this region. Instruments detect the precise gravitational influence of these hidden objects, confirming their presence even without direct visual confirmation. You sense the scale of the environment expanding in your perception, each light point representing massive distances and forces. The shuttle's mild vibrations echo the natural undulations of gravity, tiny but present, a tactile connection to the cosmic dynamics around you. Focus on a faint black hole ahead. Light from nearby stars curves gently around it, creating arcs and streaks that your eyes can trace. You feel a gentle pull in your seat, a minuscule but distinct tug, as the shuttle passes in the outer influence of its gravity well. Instruments measure the bending of light and slight variations in radiation. You sense how space itself curves here, how distance is not linear but shaped by mass and gravity. Look at the background stars, their images subtly warped around the black hole. Each point a demonstration of Einstein's equations in real time. Your body senses the balance of forces, your hands resting lightly on the controls, guiding the shuttle through a path of careful observation. Notice the vast scales. Star clusters extend across your view, nebulae shimmer in complex colors, and distant black holes warp light in ways visible even at immense distances. You feel a quiet awe, the understanding of the size and complexity of this region sinking in. Your chest feels steady, your legs light in the low-gravity cabin, yet attuned to the slight shifts and hum of the shuttle as it reacts to the gravitational environment. Instruments continue to record radiation levels, Doppler shifts, and gravitational lensing. You feel intimately connected to the mechanics of this environment, aware of the small but real influences on your motion and perception. Look toward a blue-white giant star. Its radiation is strong, affecting nearby gas and dust. You notice how it illuminates surrounding nebulae, creating gradients of brightness and color. Lean forward slightly and watch the shadows form along the edges of dense gas pockets. The shuttle feels steady, yet a faint vibration signals the tug of nearby masses. Instruments detect energy output, light spectra, and radiation levels. You feel the subtle feedback through your seat, a tactile understanding of the forces shaping this environment. Your eyes trace the glowing paths, following the subtle currents of matter under gravitational influence. Notice faint filaments stretching between clusters of stars. Gas and dust form long, thin tendrils, shaped by gravity and radiation pressure. You see subtle shifts in color along these filaments, Doppler shifts stretching light slightly depending on your motion. The shuttle responds smoothly to these tiny changes. The cabin hums steady, your hands lightly resting on controls, ready to maintain course. You feel a connection to the structure, aware of the immense forces shaping the cosmic web. The view is immersive, the sense of scale profound, and your body feels the delicate vibrations caused by gravitational interactions around you. Focus on distant galaxies beyond the local cluster. Their light arrives bent subtly by massive objects in the new region. You notice faint arcs of light and variations in brightness, confirming the presence of unseen mass. Lean back and take a slow breath, feeling the subtle vibrations of the shuttle, the gentle pull of gravity wells, and the hum of the engines keeping your course steady. Your eyes trace the interactions of stars and gas, noting the complex interplay of radiation, gravity, and motion. The sensation is immersive, your body sensing even the smallest environmental effects. Observe the ambient light differences across the region. Some areas glow faintly from scattered starlight. Others are darkened by dense clouds. You notice how the color contrasts shift as you move the shuttle slightly. Subtle variations in blue, red, and green hues, revealing composition and density. Lean your head and follow faint arcs of light created by lensing. Trace the streams of gas curling between clusters. You feel the shuttle respond to minute gravitational differences. The subtle pressure on your chest and legs, a tactile measure of the unseen forces. The region feels alive with motion, yet your body senses only calm, steady adjustments. Notice the black holes again. Light arcs around them create faint warps and distortions in the background star field. You feel slight tugs as the shuttle glides near their outer influence. Vibrations almost imperceptible, but real. Instruments measure the gravitational gradient, light curves, and minor energy emissions. Your body senses the continuity of forces, your hands lightly resting on the control surfaces, guiding the shuttle smoothly through this complex environment. The view is breathtaking, the scale enormous, and your perception deeply connected to the physical reality of this newly reachable space. Look toward a dense nebula cluster. Wisps of gas curl delicately. Dust absorbs some starlight, creating shadows, and faint reflections highlight the three-dimensional structure. You lean forward, tracking the subtle shifts of light as you move past. The shuttle responds with tiny adjustments, vibrations through your seat, reflecting the gentle influence of gravity wells around you. Your mind absorbs the interplay of light, gravity, and motion, understanding the dynamic environment without needing to visualize its full scale at once. Every sense is engaged, eyes on the colors, hands on controls, chest feeling the residual pulls, and ears attuned to the low hum of the engines. Observe a small star cluster near a black hole. Light curves along multiple paths, creating faint arcs and shifts. You feel a slight tug in your legs and chest as the shuttle passes near a subtle gravitational gradient. Instruments detect the light curve variations, measuring energy and motion. You notice how shadows form across nearby nebulae, how color shifts correspond with Doppler effects, and how stars' apparent positions adjust subtly with your movement. You feel fully immersed, each sense registering a direct connection to the physics shaping this stellar environment. The scale is immense, yet your perception allows you to witness it intimately, aware of every light arc, every gravitational influence, every shift in radiation and color. You settle into your seat, letting the shuttle glide steadily through the newly revealed region of space. The engines hum quietly beneath you, a soft, constant vibration that grounds you in the cabin. Your hands hover over the controls, relaxed, ready to guide the shuttle along a calm, steady course. Outside, the stars stretch in every direction, clusters and nebulae unfolding across your field of view. You lean slightly forward and take a slow, deep breath, absorbing the scene. The air in the cabin is still, the low hum of the instruments mixing with the quiet of the vast cosmic void. You feel calm, focused, and fully aware of the journey you have just taken. Reach for your recording devices and instruments. Begin documenting the observations, noting the differences between what you saw when entering the wormhole and what you are now seeing. The tunnel of spiraling light, the duplicated stars, the stretching and compressing of light. All these are memories etched in your mind and recorded in the instruments. You note the shift in light spectra, the way colors return to normal, and how gravitational distortions have faded. Your hands move steadily over the touch screens, confirming readings of radiation, gravitational gradients, and time measurements. Each observation reinforces the reality of the wormhole's effect on space and time, grounding the extraordinary experience in concrete scientific evidence. Notice the difference in time perception. During entry, seconds felt drawn out as light stretched and shifted. Inside the wormhole, your instruments recorded variations in time compared to external clocks, subtle yet measurable. Now, outside, the readings have returned to baseline. You see stars moving along predictable paths, their light consistent with known velocities. You feel the contrast in your perception. What once seemed slowed or altered now unfolds naturally. Your chest feels lighter, your body grounded, and your senses aligned with the normal passage of time. You realize how profoundly space-time behaved differently within the wormhole, yet now behaves as expected in the familiar cosmic landscape. Look closely at the star clusters around you. Some stars were invisible from your previous vantage points, now fully observable because of the shortcut through the wormhole. Nebulae glow softly, their gas clouds reflecting light from stars newly revealed. You feel a quiet awe, the immensity of the scales and distances settling in your mind. Instruments continue to log radiation levels, spectra, and gravitational readings. You notice faint residual lensing effects at the edges, tiny echoes of the wormhole's influence, but these are minor compared to the dramatic distortions of your journey through the throat. Lean back and let your eyes trace the formations, following the paths of light and observing the intricate details of the stellar environment. Focus on the calm glide of the shuttle. The cabin is steady, the hum of systems a reassuring presence beneath you. You feel the tactile feedback of the controls, small vibrations registering through your fingertips as the shuttle reacts to minimal gravitational anomalies. Your body senses the gentle pull of the nearest star clusters and black holes, subtle but present. Each movement is smooth, deliberate, and safe, allowing you to fully immerse yourself in observation and reflection. You notice how different the journey feels now. No extreme stretches, no visual spirals, only the steady flow of normal space interspersed with the extraordinary structures you can now see up close. Observe the contrast between the entry and exit points. The wormhole entrance had compressed distant stars into arcs and spirals. The exit reveals these same regions expanded naturally, a direct measurement of the shortcut's effect. You see galaxies that were once far away appearing now in reachable proximity, their structures fully visible. Instruments record the differences. Gravitational readings are stable. Light spectra match expected values, and time signals align with distant observatories' clocks. You feel the subtle satisfaction of understanding, of connecting sensory experience with measurable scientific data, confirming the theoretical models you have learned about wormholes. Notice the interplay of light across the cosmic landscape. Stars and nebulae emit radiation in multiple wavelengths, some visible to your eyes, others measured by instruments. You see color shifts caused by motion, faint Doppler effects as the shuttle moves slowly through the environment. Lean forward slightly and follow a stream of gas reflecting light from a nearby cluster. Shadows shift gently, light curves across wispy clouds, and the subtle contrast of brightness and darkness highlights the three-dimensional depth of the scene. You feel fully immersed, your visual senses attuned to both the large-scale structures and the minute details that reveal the mechanics of the stellar environment. Reach for the instrument displays and track time readings. They show minimal anomalies now, a confirmation that you are fully outside the tunnel's influence. Compare these to the measurements taken while inside the wormhole. The differences are stark: stretching of time and light within, normality now. You sense the significance of this. The wormhole allowed traversal of immense distances without violating the laws of physics, yet altered perception in ways your body and instruments could measure. You feel grounded and centered, a participant in both the extraordinary journey and the meticulous recording of scientific evidence. Notice the gravitational anomalies still detectable at the edge of the region. They are minor, yet measurable. Tiny shifts in shuttle movement, minor changes in instrument readings, slight variations in radiation levels. Your body feels the residual effect as gentle vibrations, subtle tugs on your chest and legs. You take a slow breath, acknowledging the subtle presence of forces that have shaped and guided your passage through space. Lean back and allow yourself to absorb the calmness of this environment, the mixture of awe, tranquility, and scientific observation blending seamlessly as you move along the return path. Look back at the wormhole's exit region. Faint light ripples still trace its shape, a gentle reminder of the bridge you traveled. Stars that were previously twisted and duplicated now appear in normal arrangements. Nebulae glow softly, reflecting light from stars in ways predictable by known physics. Your body senses the calm of normal space, the subtle tugs of gravity now familiar and manageable. Instruments continue to log light curves, radiation, and gravitational gradients. Each reading reinforces your understanding. The wormhole created a passage across time and space, altered perception, and revealed distant regions, yet returned you safely and measurably to normal cosmic conditions. Observe the expanse of the newly accessible galaxy ahead. Spiral arms stretch out gracefully. Star clusters dot the void. Nebulae glow softly in multiple colors. You sense the scale and distance, the vastness of space condensed into a reachable corridor by the wormhole. Lean forward and trace the light from distant stars. Instruments measure spectra, radiation, and motion with precision. You feel the tactile hum of the shuttle as it reacts gently to subtle gravitational variations. Your senses are fully engaged, eyes absorbing color and structure, ears attuned to quiet hums, hands gently stabilizing the shuttle, chest and limbs sensing faint residual pulls from massive objects nearby. Take a deep breath and let your awareness expand. The journey through the wormhole has connected you to a region that would have been unreachable. Your mind reflects on the possibilities and limits of wormhole traversal, the potential for cosmic shortcuts, and the observable effects on light, time, and gravity. Instruments continue to log data as you glide calmly through the stellar landscape. You feel a combination of awe and tranquility, immersed in the sheer scale of the universe and the knowledge that you have experienced a pathway few could ever reach. Your body and senses are in harmony with the shuttle and the cosmic environment, fully present, fully aware, and completely engaged. Notice the subtle differences in light and motion as you record your observations. Stars near massive objects show slight lensing, colors shift faintly due to Doppler effects, and radiation levels vary depending on proximity. Lean your head slightly and watch shadows shift across nebulae. You feel the gentle feedback from the shuttle as it responds to these gradients. Each sensory input, visual, tactile, auditory, is aligned with the data from your instruments. You are experiencing the combination of raw cosmic spectacle and precise scientific measurement, fully aware of both. Look back once more at the remnants of the wormhole. Faint arcs of bending light shimmer subtly, barely perceptible against the normal star field. You feel the calm of the shuttle gliding forward, the residual vibrations almost gone. Instruments confirm stable gravitational readings, consistent time signals, and normal light spectra. Your body senses the serenity of normal space. Your mind traces the contrast between the warped space-time you traveled through and the calm, cosmic landscape now around you. You feel a quiet gratitude for the experience, a profound sense of perspective on the mechanics of the universe, and an understanding of the limits and possibilities of traversable wormholes. Take a final deep breath, letting the calm settle fully. Observe the galaxy ahead, nebulae and star clusters stretching in natural patterns. Your body rests lightly in the seat, fingers tracing the smooth controls, ears attuned to the soft hum of the shuttle. Instruments continue to measure radiation, gravitational anomalies, and light spectra. You sense the continuity of space, the flow of time, and the vast distances revealed by your journey. You are fully present, immersed in the combination of awe, scientific observation, and calm reflection, ready to carry forward the knowledge of what you have witnessed through the wormhole. The cosmic environment surrounds you, tranquil, immense, and fully observable, a direct experience of the universe in its grand scale. You feel the shuttle begin to drift gently away from the immediate region of the wormhole. The faint shimmer of the exit lingers in your peripheral vision, but it becomes smaller, dimmer, and eventually fades entirely into the backdrop of stars. You lean forward, slightly, tracing the last arcs of light with your eyes, noting the subtle lensing effects disappear as normal space resumes. The gentle hum of the engines vibrates beneath you, a steady and calming presence, grounding your body after the extraordinary journey. Your chest and legs settle comfortably into the seat as the shuttle resumes a natural glide, weightless yet stable, and your senses adjust to the predictable rhythm of the cosmos around you. Look outward at the star field. Points of light now follow familiar paths, no longer bent or stretched by the wormhole's curvature. Spiral galaxies stretch in their ordinary shapes, star clusters hold their expected arrangements, and nebulae glow with steady intensity, reflecting the intrinsic properties of their gases and dust. You feel a deep sense of relief and wonder as your perception aligns with the natural universe once more. Instruments confirm the uniformity. Time flows consistently. Gravitational readings are stable. Radiation levels match predictions, and light spectra appear exactly as expected. You are immersed in a universe that has returned to its familiar laws, yet the memory of the wormhole's influence remains vivid in your mind. Notice the immense scale surrounding you. The stars are distant but visible, the galaxies scattered across vast reaches of space. You realize that the shortcut you traveled has compressed what would have been millennia of movement into hours, revealing regions of the cosmos that were once inaccessible. Your body feels a subtle awe, a gentle hum of energy through the seat as the shuttle continues to glide forward. The tactile feedback from your hands on the controls, the quiet vibrations in your chest, and the soft resonance beneath your legs all combine to remind you of the shuttle's presence and the immense scales of space through which you have just traveled. Scan the environment for gravitational nuances. Even as you move away from the wormhole, faint effects ripple across the instrument readings. Minor deviations in the local gravitational field are detectable, slight changes in radiation intensity and light curvature. You feel a subtle tug in your chest and legs, the residual echoes of the forces that once dominated your passage. Your mind traces the physics of these interactions, the energy required to maintain the wormhole, and the extraordinary conditions that allowed the tunnel to remain open. You are fully present, sensing both the calm of normal space and the faint traces of what you have traversed. Look at nearby nebulae and clusters. Their structures appear natural and steady. The clouds of gas and dust glow softly, illuminated by nearby stars. Shadows and highlights reveal three-dimensional depth, intricate filaments, and wispy tendrils of matter shaped by gravity and radiation. You feel the continuity of the cosmic environment, the balance of forces evident in the stable motion of stars and gas. Your body senses the gentle tug of nearby masses, faint vibrations registering as subtle feedback from the shuttle. You watch closely, tracing light curves and noting shifts in color, aware of the measurable physics behind each observation. Focus on the distant galaxies ahead. They stretch across your viewport, distant spirals and elliptical shapes clearly visible. The light is uniform, no longer distorted or multiplied, and your instruments confirm the gravitational gradients and radiation levels are stable. You feel a deep, calm connection to the cosmos, the hum of the engines beneath you, the steady glow of distant stars, and the subtle movements of the shuttle, all combining to anchor you in this vast space. You sense the balance between the enormity of what you have witnessed and the normalcy of the universe beyond the wormhole's influence. Notice the subtle contrasts of light and shadow across the environment. Faint interstellar dust clouds obscure some regions, while bright stars illuminate others. Nebulae reflect multiple wavelengths, creating gradients of color from soft red to pale blue and gentle white. You lean forward slightly, eyes adjusting to the delicate differences, instruments confirming the chemical composition of gases, radiation intensity, and relative motion. Your hands rest lightly on the controls, feeling the shuttle respond smoothly to minute gravitational variations. You are fully aware of the interaction between your movement and the forces of the cosmic landscape. Take a deep breath and allow your mind to reflect on the journey. The wormhole has provided a direct passage across unimaginable distances, revealing parts of the universe that were previously inaccessible. You feel a combination of awe and scientific understanding. The mechanics of space-time, the curvature of gravity, the way light behaves under extreme conditions, all observable and measurable in real time. The shuttle hums steadily, instruments record precise readings, and your body feels the calmness of normal space restored. You are grounded yet expanded, both physically present in the shuttle and mentally traversing the immense scales of the cosmos. Look back at the direction you came from. The remnants of the wormhole, once a dramatic distortion of space and light, are now faint and distant. Light from the exit ripples subtly across your viewport, fading gradually. You notice stars once distorted by the gravitational effects now appear in their expected positions. Nebulae glow without unusual color shifts. The tactile vibrations of the shuttle are minimal, and the hum of the engines is steady and reassuring. Your body adjusts fully to the stability of normal space, and your senses integrate the experience of both extraordinary traversal and ordinary cosmic order. Focus on the feeling of movement through space. The shuttle glides gently, smooth and predictable, through a calm, awe-inspiring environment. The stars and galaxies unfold across your view, their scales, immense but comprehensible in the intimate perspective offered by the shuttle's cockpit. You sense the continuity of space, the passage of time, and the vast distances condensed by the wormhole, now returning to normal perception. Instruments continue to log radiation, light spectra, and gravitational measurements. You feel fully immersed, aware of both the extraordinary journey and the ordinary laws of physics in this region of space. Notice the ambient light differences around you. Some nebulae glow brighter, others are dimmer, dust clouds casting shadows over star clusters. You see subtle color variations, slight blue shifts in approaching stars, red shifts in receding ones, all confirming the natural motions in space. Your body feels the slight vibrations as the shuttle responds to these tiny variations. Hands rest lightly on the controls, stabilizing the craft without effort. Your mind tracks the details: radiation intensity, gravitational readings, Doppler shifts, and the three-dimensional structure of the environment. Every sense remains engaged in careful observation and immersion. Look ahead to the far reaches of the region. Spiral galaxies, elliptical galaxies, globular clusters, and faint nebulae stretch across the viewport. The light is clear, undistorted, revealing the true structure of space here. You feel a profound sense of connection to the universe, understanding the scales, the physics, and the direct experience of cosmic structure. Instruments confirm gravitational fields, radiation patterns, and the consistency of time. Your body feels calm, the gentle hum beneath you grounding your awareness, while your mind expands across the immense, now fully observable distances. Focus on the subtle contrasts in the star's brightness. You notice minor variations due to distance and intrinsic luminosity. The shuttle glides smoothly past, vibrations minimal, hum steady, and your body senses both calm and awe simultaneously. You lean slightly forward, observing the faint shadowing of gas clouds, the reflective glow of nebulae, and the soft arcs of starlight around dense clusters. Your mind considers the mechanics of the cosmos, how mass, radiation, and gravity shape what you observe. The sensory experience of sight, touch, and awareness is fully immersive, reinforcing the combination of personal perception and scientific insight. Take a slow, deep breath and allow your awareness to encompass the entire scene. Stars, nebulae, black holes, and galaxies stretch across your field of view. You sense the immense scale, the uniformity of space, and the calm that follows the extraordinary traversal of the wormhole. Instruments continue recording, confirming normal gravitational, radiation, and time measurements. You feel your body fully adjusted to normal space, the hum of engines beneath, the subtle vibrations registering in your chest and hands, and the steady, predictable glide of the shuttle, all providing a tactile link to the environment. Your mind reflects on the journey, the mechanics of space-time, the phenomena observed, and the profound connectivity of the universe. Notice the final remnants of the wormhole's influence fading in your mind's eye. Light paths once twisted are now straight. Stars return to familiar arrangements, and nebulae glow in natural, unaltered colors. Your body rests comfortably in the seat, chest and limbs sensing the calm, gentle vibrations. Instruments log final readings, stable radiation, predictable gravitational fields, uniform time signals. You feel a quiet awe, the result of first-hand observation, deep scientific understanding, and the immersive perception of immense cosmic scales. The shuttle moves forward steadily, carrying you through normal space with all senses attuned to observation and reflection. Take one last deep breath. Look around and absorb the final view of the stellar region, now fully accessible. Stars, clusters, galaxies, and nebulae unfold. Naturally, light traveling undistorted, gravity behaving as expected, and the vast distances clearly perceptible. You feel the gentle hum of the shuttle, vibrations beneath your body, and the calm of the cabin air. Mentally, you prepare to disembark from the experience, carrying the memory of the wormhole traversal, the observation of exotic gravitational and optical effects, and the understanding of space-time connectivity. The universe stretches infinitely ahead, and you are both small and intimately connected, aware of the extraordinary scale, yet grounded in the calm, precise reality of measured physics. Your body and mind are in harmony, fully present in this last moment of observation, reflection, and awe.